Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm doing another review today of the WEN 3-speed remote control air filtration system. I mentioned that I was going to do this at the end of one of my other videos. This is something that I wanted for a very long time, and I'm very glad that I got it. Working in a really small shop like I do, it's just a 2-car garage, and whenever I would cut anything, especially on the table saw or the miter saw, sawdust would get everywhere. Like, I'm talking in every nook and cranny of this garage, all over everything. My bike is covered in sawdust. My friend asked me to store his kayak. It's filled with sawdust. There was sawdust everywhere. So basically I needed this to keep everything from having an inch of sawdust on it in my garage. And we'll get into the performance of it here in just a second, but I just wanted to give you a quick introduction on what we're covering today, and let's get into it. Alright guys, like I was saying, this is the WEN 3-speed remote control air filtration system. This is normally carried by Home Depot, and you can find this on Amazon as well. I will have an Amazon link below that you guys can check this out. I think it was relatively the same price on Home Depot as it was on Amazon. And I don't know, sometimes this thing's in stock and sometimes it's not, and if it's in one of the phases where it's getting ready to not be in stock, the price will shoot up on this thing. I would advise you not to spend more than $130 to $140 on this. I was lucky and caught this on sale for like $123, I think, but anything below $140, you're paying about the normal decent price for it. So compared to the other air filtration systems in this price range, you've got, like, for example, Jet makes one that is very similar to this. It has the same 3 speed controls. It looks exactly the same. The measurements are almost exactly the same. The only real difference between this unit and the Jet unit I was talking about, and like ShopFox has one, I think Power Tech has one, and I think there might even be the Rikon one. It might be similar to this. I don't remember. I didn't look into that one as much. The two I was going back and forth between really was the Jet and the WEN, and I'm very glad I went with the WEN. Like I said, it has the same features, it has the same capabilities, the same specs. It's just a lot cheaper. So one of the first things to note is that this is the box that it will arrive in on your doorstep. Yes, I did keep this box until I could do this review, and yes, my wife was upset with me that I had a box this big taking up space in our house. She is going to be very thrilled that I'm doing this and getting this out of the house finally. But yeah, so this is what it's going to look like when it shows up on your doorstep. So if you live in an area where people steal things off your porch, you may want to like work from home, or maybe set up a time that you can actually be at home to meet the delivery person, or maybe just go pick it up from the carrier facility. It might be your best bet. I say this because everybody in the world is going to see what this is, and they're going to say, hey, that's a piece of equipment that's worth, you know, over $100. I'm going to swipe it. And honestly, this thing only weighs like 30 pounds, so it's not a big deal for somebody to run up and grab this and take off with it. So just a heads up there, but that's not really WEN's fault. A lot of these bigger tools are shipped in the box that it's actually packaged in, so can't do too much about it. But anyway, this is not an unboxing video. This is actually just a review. I've already unboxed this. As you can see, fairly empty. The styrofoam and the other packing that they used was actually really nice. When I got my system out, there were no dings, no scratches, there was no blemishes of any kind really. So I'm really impressed with the packaging. But as far as the specs and the usability and the user experience of this thing, I actually have it running on its fastest speed right now currently. It's hanging from my ceiling. It's about 1.5 feet from the top of my ceiling is about how long those chains give you. And it's probably 7.5 feet above my head. My garage is about 11 feet, maybe 11 feet. I'm not really sure, but it has really good clearance. It doesn't move. It's, like I said, it's running at its top speed right now. It's not moving an inch. You couldn't even tell it was on just looking at it. And I don't know if you're having trouble hearing me. If you are, I'm gonna have to shoot this all over again, but it doesn't sound very loud to me. So whenever you're running anything else in the shop, you cannot even hear it. You don't even know that it's on. I've literally left the house and forgotten that I had it on. That's how quiet it is. So let me turn it down to its lowest setting that you can use if you're not actually actively running any tools. All right, so now it's running at its lowest setting. It's very easy to change the speed. They give you this remote control. It's an RF remote control. You've got an off button, you've got an on button, and also the on button also controls the speed. And then you've got a timer button, so you can enable a timer for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. And that is extremely convenient. Say for instance, if you're done for the day in the shop and you've had it running the whole time while you're cutting and sawing and everything, making sawdust in your shop, right? You've had it running the whole time and you want to go to bed, but you don't want to turn it off right now because there's still some sawdust and you want to circulate that so it doesn't land on anything. All you have to do, hit the timer button, forget about it. Timer, put this away, go to bed. It'll kick off in either 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. So super easy, super convenient. Like I said, I'm in love with this thing. The speed goes in intervals of, I don't know, 1 second. All right guys, so you do get this nice little WEN manual with your air filtration system. So it's got everything in here you need to know, including all the specs. I actually had to look this up, but the airflow speeds are 300, 350, and 400 CFM. And that's just the rate of air that it's circulating. And I have found that this size, the 300 through 400 CFM, is more than enough than I need for a 2-car garage. If you have a huge workshop and you're doing some production, then maybe you need something a little bigger. But 300, 350, and 400 for a normal 2-car garage, or I would even say a 3-car garage, is plenty enough. You don't need any more than that in my experience. It's actually, if I have it running full speed in this small 2-car garage that I have, it's a little overkill, honestly. But as far as when you open it originally, the entire air filtration system is already completely intact. The only thing that you have to install on the system are the actual hooks if you want to suspend it from the ceiling in your garage or your shop. If you don't want to suspend it, then you're ready to go. It's got 4 rubber feet. You just set it on a table somewhere close by where you're working, let it go, you're done. But if you do want to hang it, all you have to do is take 4 little bolts off the top and put these hooks on the top in the same holes. And then it comes with some chains that you just hook up, and it will give you 4 eye bolts that you just need to bolt into your ceiling, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Don't worry about that. But it'll give you 4 eye bolts. You just put those in your ceiling, make sure they're in a stud or something that can hold the weight, and then you hook the chains to it. That's it. It's by far extremely easy as far as user setup goes. But anyway guys, here's the box, here's the manual, here's the remote. Let's actually look at the real thing, shall we? Alright guys, I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like from my eye level before I get up on a ladder and show you guys closely. But that's what it looks like. I've got the opening of my garage right here, garage door opener, I've got my extension cord, and then I just have it right here. And I have it so that it's sucking in air towards the middle of the shop and blowing it out over in this direction, but it's going to circulate the entire shop. Alright guys, so you can see the filter on this thing is already dirty. I've had this for about 3 months. I use it almost every day, and this is how dirty it's gotten so far. So if you look, you can definitely see there's sawdust in here. This is the outer filter of the air filtration unit. So this filters down to 5 microns, and then you have an inner filter inside that will filter down to 1 micron. Let me show you that real quick. So to get to the inner filter, you just flip this little clip right here up, and then flip this clip right here down, and then you just pull this straight out. Easy peasy. So there's the inner filter. You can see it doesn't even look dirty, like at all. So that, like I said, that filters down to 1 micron. And that's the inside of this filter. And when I got this, the filter itself was as white as this cardboard is right here. I don't know if you guys can really see the color as well through the camera, but it was definitely extremely white. So I may run my vacuum hose over it and try to clean some of this up just to prolong its life. But I think it'll probably do me about 6 months, I would say. Maybe, depending on how good the vacuuming works, maybe even a little longer. But yeah, so this is already all put together when you actually get the unit, so you guys don't have to worry about doing this like at all. You can, look at it if you're curious, but it's already done for you. Alright guys, and there are the eye bolts that I was telling you about. I was lucky enough in my garage that the builders, they didn't paint over the walls in the garage, so you can still see where the studs are. So all I had to do was just find a couple of those and screw my eye bolts in. And then these chains that came with the unit, I just hung those chains. And here are the hooks I was telling you about right here. Whenever I got the unit, this was just a nut here, and you just screw this out and you screw the hook in, and then you have the hook to hang these chains from. And there's 4 of them. You just hang them, try to get them the same length and everything, and yeah. So this is the other side of the air filtration system. You can see over here we've got all of our controls. You've got the on and off switch, you've got the on and the speed switch. The only thing you can't control from the unit itself is the time delay. You can see here, there's a 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour light. And then there's a low, medium, and high light right there. So you cannot control the timer from the actual unit itself. You have to use the remote control, but you can control everything else. So this vent right here is the actual output from the unit. And there's actually a fuse as well if you need to replace that. But yeah guys, like I said, super simple to install, hang up, whatever. I just got a ladder, climbed up there, put the eye bolts in, put the hooks on the unit, put the chains on the eye bolts from the ceiling, and then you carry the unit up a ladder and you just hold it while you attach the chains to the hooks on the system. It's super easy. The unit only weighs about 32, 34 pounds. So if you're an able-bodied person, you shouldn't have any issues carrying it up the ladder. The only thing is it's so big, it's a little bulky, it's a little awkward, but you should be fine. If you have someone else to help you, by all means, definitely have someone else help you. You're probably fine doing it yourself, but like all other things in woodworking, if you have any hesitation about it, stop and get someone else to help you. Think about it. Just like if you're making a cut that you're not sure about, right? You stop, figure out a way to do it so you are comfortable. All right, guys, I think that's a wrap. This video is just short and sweet and to the point, and I just wanted to show you guys this air filtration system. Like I said, I've been using it for about 3 months. I'm extremely happy with it. I went through and cleaned the sawdust off of everything in my shop before I got the air filtration system installed. And then afterwards, I see very minimal, if any at all, sawdust accumulating in my garage. So I'm super pumped about that. I can actually preserve everything else that's in my shop and not destroy it with sawdust. So that's always great. And not only that, but it's also my health, right? Like my respiratory health. I don't want to be breathing in all these particles. And frankly, seeing how dirty that filter is after just 3 months doing maybe 3 projects, I've done 3 or 4 projects in that time. I see how dirty that is. And I know I was breathing that in before. That is kind of terrifying, right? I mean, I wear a dust mask when I'm actually doing the cutting, but the stuff's still in the air after the cutting, after the sanding, after you're going through all that stuff. So you think it's safe and you take your dust mask off after you're done and you're just working in the garage, but you're still breathing those particles in. So I'm very happy with this. I know I sleep more sound at night. My wife was actually very happy that I went with this and got this. So if you guys have any issues with your wife approving of the budget for one of these, just let her know. That'll help keep you around longer, and I'm sure she'll be much more inclined to let you get one. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Like I said, a link to this will be down in the description below if you're interested in this at all. I highly recommend you get it. It is one of my favorite things in my shop. I actually like this more than my table saw. I wouldn't continue woodworking without one now that I've had one. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this information or if this helped you at all, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be doing some more reviews. I'm going to be doing some projects. I promise there will be a project coming up very soon, and hopefully you guys will like it. It's something you can do with your kids. It's just a small project, but it's a lot of fun. But like I said, just make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss the future videos. If you do find these helpful, or if you are looking forward to see my first project that I post on this channel, make sure you guys don't miss it. And if you like this video, if it helped you make up your mind on whether you wanted to get this or not, leave a like on this channel. Let me know so that way I know what kind of things you guys want to see, what you want me to do. That way I can give you guys more of the content you actually want. Those likes really help give me feedback to know if I'm making content that you guys find useful and valuable or not. And if you do have one of these, or if you have another brand, leave a comment below. Let me know how you like yours. Let me know if you did go with the Jet. How do you like the Jet? If you got the WEN, let me know how you feel about the WEN, because like I said, it's one of my favorite tools that I have now. And if you just have any more questions about this, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll get back to you with an answer on it as soon as I can. All right, I think I've stalled it out as long as I can. I really don't think there's anything else for me to say here. So the only thing left to say is keep making sawdust. You see, I want to have the garage door open to let more natural light in, but my house is really close to the street and there's just cars after car after car. Suburbia, am I right? Anyway.